Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So today we're back here for another speed build, and today we're going to go ahead and create this Real to Sims modern luxury home. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up on the gallery now. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1. So like I said, this is a Real to Sims build. I do a lot of these a lot more often on the channel now than I used to. So basically what it is that you find a house plan or some sort of floor plan of a home and then try to recreate it in The Sims 4. So this one I have had bookmarked for a few weeks and kind of kept coming back to it because there were aspects of it which I wasn't really too sure how well it would work in The Sims, and I think I did do it pretty good. Now I definitely did have a few challenges in this build, did give me quite a few headaches trying to work out how to do particular parts of it, so we'll kind of get to those a little bit later. So, you know, if you look at the floor plan, which I'll have linked down below, and then look at the house, you may see slight differences, but hopefully you don't mind about that. And at the end of the day, like I always say, the reason I do this series is just to switch up the way I do homes, because sometimes I kind of get in a rut of doing the kind of same sort of similar homes or building in a similar way, and this kind of allows me to do something a bit different. Even though it may be like a suburban home or something, I just have to think about the home in a different way. So yeah, I'm really happy how this one turned out actually. It does look a little bit different on the exterior than some of my other builds, kind of the blue and orange. Well, I don't know if you call it orange, but it is kind of like a burnt sort of colour. It's a really weird combination, and it was like that on the house plan. I was thinking, how on earth would that look right in The Sims? And I did it at first, I was thinking, I'm not too sure about this, but after a while I did actually really like the colour scheme. So, you know, it is a bit different for me. I probably won't do it again for a very long time, but, you know, it was a nice change. And I did go for kind of just black trims and black windows. I think the floor plan did have black and white, but I just went for black instead. So for the details of this build, it's built on a 40 by 30 lot in Newcrest, and it has 3 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. And it came in at 167,494 simoleons. And for the packs I used today, I used Get Famous, Seasons, Cats and Dogs, City Living and Get Together for the expansions. For the game packs I used Parenthood, Dine Out and Spa Day, and for the stuff packs I used Laundry Day and Perfect Patio Stuff. Now again, some of those packs don't use too many of them, like too many items on them I should say. So for example, Parenthood, I use the dish rack and the fridge. So if you don't have Parenthood, then that's totally fine, as it's very easy to replace those items. And also Laundry Day, I did put a laundry room in one of the builds. There was actually, sorry, in one of the rooms, not one of the builds. In the floor plan, there was actually a like pantry room in like the sort of back left of the bottom floor, so where just near the kitchen, kind of attaches to the kitchen. And I thought, I've seen those a couple of times in floor plans, and they're always kind of a bit of a waste of a room, I think, in The Sims, because there's not really much to do with them. So I made it into the laundry room. I just thought it'd be a bit of a better use of the space. And the backyard area in this build is fairly simple, actually. I kind of have a thing where I try to fill up the backyard areas as much as I can, with landscaping and loads of different activities and stuff. But the one in this floor plan was just a very simple patio area with a few chairs and a barbecue. So I kind of left it like that. I did add a few more things in, and then there was a lot of grass space left, which I thought was fine, and also just something for a bit of a difference, not having things so packed full of stuff in the backyard area. So I just went ahead and used like a darker grass terrain paint and kind of just made lines to look like a, you know, freshly cut grass. So I did that, and I thought it just looked nice for a change. So if you want to put some more stuff out there, like a pool or anything, then you definitely have the room to do that. And you also as well can put a basement in this build as well if you need extra bedrooms and bathrooms or anything. There is a gym in this build where the garage is, and also 2 kind of debug cars in there as well. So again, if you want more space in the garage, then you could do that. The garage is actually pretty huge, to be honest. So if you want to change that into like another room or something, then you can definitely do that as well. So there's lots of other, you know, things you can do with this build if you want to change it up. Now, I didn't really do any personalization in this home. You know, again, colours switch here and there, but I mean like personalities of Sims. I didn't make any, you know, very specific rooms like that. There is a single room, which I would imagine would be for a kid, but I didn't put any toys in there just to leave it open for you to do what you want with. And the master bedroom actually is one of my favourite rooms in this build. It does have a lot of space in it, and it kind of has a, well, we'll get that a little bit later. I did do the master bedroom a little bit differently than what was on the house plan website, so we'll get to that in a minute. So we're just finishing up the exterior here. Again, like I said, it is fairly simple, so not really too much footage for this bit. And I've also done the kind of wall coverings and stuff off screen, just because, you know, sometimes it just takes a little bit of time to kind of figure out what ones I want to use. So I just did that off screen. And you will actually see sort of like a mezzanine level for like upstairs, looking down onto the kind of living room area, and that was part of the floor plan, and I thought it was really interesting. Adds like a modern touch to it as well, I think. Now I did have serious issues with it though, because it is a kind of porch, like a wraparound porch on the exterior of that living room, and when the roof was trying to go in, it was making a right mess. So I cut most of that out because it took ages for me to fix it. Now you will see in the living room area, you can see like the trim of the roof going around, and I just couldn't figure out what else I could do to get rid of that, and there really wasn't. So I did just try to make the roofs line up a little bit better, so it looks like an indoor trim or something. It still looks a little bit out of place, so the other option would be to take the roof off the porch and just use like lattice fence, and kind of make a pattern out of that and put some landscaping over the top or something like that. So that's another option, but I didn't do that because it was going quite far away from what the floor plan was like. So if you want to change that up for gameplay, if that annoys you, then feel free to do that. So I'm really happy with the interior of this build. As you know, I really love doing modern builds, so it was really nice to finish this home. And yeah, so another thing, as you would have saw has happened this week, was the 20th anniversary of The Sims. I did actually make a quick little sort of face cam video, which I was going to upload, kind of just talking about the future of The Sims and also about the 20th anniversary, but I kind of just watched it back afterwards and I just wasn't happy with it, so I didn't end up uploading it. And I kind of thought about what we possibly could be getting with the 20th anniversary, and of course I was very wrong. So let me know what you think about the hot tub that we got. I know it was very disappointing for a lot of people. It was for me as well. I was definitely expecting something huge. Now it is Friday as we're doing this, and I'm hoping that we're going to be getting something else this week, not just a hot tub, but now that it's Friday, I'm not too sure. By the time you see this video, something may have happened, but I really doubt it. So yeah, it was a little bit frustrating just to have a hot tub after 20 years and not like a huge feature release or something of, you know, like an update. So I'm not going to go into it too much more because I'm pretty much got the same opinion as everybody else, so you've all heard it. So yeah, let's just move on from that. So this is the kitchen area. I really love this kitchen as well. It's got like the kitchen and dining room put together, and I did change up the colours as I went through here. Now the problem was that this whole place is open plan pretty much, at least for the downstairs, so I didn't really want it to be the same kind of plain beige colour throughout the whole home, and when it's open plan, sometimes it's kind of a little bit difficult to switch up colour swatches of the walls as you go through the home, because it's all one room, so it looks a little bit weird, if you know what I mean. But I did manage to make it work. So this side of the home here is a little bit darker than the living room area. So like I said, the kitchen and the dining room are together in here. So we've got an island counter with a few seats on, and also a dining table as well as a bar, of course. I always put them in my builds. I had a bit of trouble deciding on what kind of colour scheme I wanted to go for the counters and cabinets in the kitchen, because it's kind of just like a really weird mix of colours going on in this house. So I ended up going for this greyish colour, but if you want to change it up for a different colour, that's fine. I just thought it blended nicely with the black trims and stuff, but if you want to kind of go for a contrast, then there are a really nice colour swatch that I use quite a lot when I use these counters, which have white tops instead. So you could use them instead. I think that'd be nice for a bit of a contrast as well. And then I did use a slight pop of colour with those two hanging lamps there from the ceiling. I thought those kind of worked nicely with the colour scheme with like that orangey colour. And also those little kind of tree looking wall lights, as you can see there, I think they're from Dine Out or Spa Day, probably Dine Out. I have used them, I think in the last build I did, one of the last builds I did. I know it's a really weird sort of item, but I just thought it looks a little bit different to use instead of just like another painting. So I was trying to work out to make something a little bit interesting with them on that wall there, like sizing them up and down and using different coloured ones, but wasn't really working out that well, so I just put two either side and use a big painting in the middle. And we've got a little upstairs hallway here, nothing too much going on with it though. There is also a study downstairs, which I did earlier, I forgot to mention about that I think. Also, don't forget to leave me any suggestions for other Real to Sims builds to do. If you have any house plans or floor plans or anything like that from websites that you want to send me, then feel free to do that. It's probably easier to do that on like Twitter, because on YouTube comments it'll be marked as spam, so if you do have a link you want to send me to a house plan, then feel free to do that on Twitter, probably be the best place to do it, and I'll try to do that for a future episode of the series. I suppose I can call it a series now. I mentioned in the beginning of this, when I started doing these builds, I wasn't going to call it that because I didn't think I'd be doing them that often, just as it's a way for me to just do things slightly differently for a build, for a change, but I actually really love doing them, so maybe it is a series because I do them so often now. But anyway, so we're just working on one of the bedrooms here, and again I was trying to just find a way to make them look a little bit different, the bedrooms, because I do have the same sort of thing I do with all my bedrooms, is that even though it's pretty kind of simple and sort of normal, I guess, to have the bed and then 2 bedside tables with a lamp on each of them and a painting above the bed. Although that's totally fine. I just think because I do so many speed builds, it always looks the same. So I did try to find different ways to switch up the bedrooms a little bit, nothing massively, but that kind of, using that marble console table behind the bed instead of bedside tables is something I do quite often if I want to do a switch up in terms of how the bedroom layout is. So this is the master room here, and I really love this one, as I was saying before. So originally in the floor plan, it was kind of like this bedroom here, how it is, and then as you can see there is an archway going off, but that was actually to a bathroom, and then where the actual bathroom is, that was also an addition to where that big bathroom was, if that makes sense. So it was kind of like 2 bathrooms put into one with those 2 extra rooms there through the archway. So I thought that was maybe a little bit too overkill. It also had a wardrobe section in it as well at the back. So I actually made it into more of a sort of like a practical room. So it's got like a study area and some other things in there. So I thought it was just a bit better use of the space. Now, this is a real Sims build, so I suppose I kind of failed a little bit there, but it was to make the build look good, I think. So I hope you don't mind me doing a change like that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for today's build. We'll be heading on the screenshots in just a minute or so. We've got a few more rooms to finish off and also the garage, but I'm going to wrap up the voiceover here. So I really hope you enjoyed. In the comment section down below, let me know about how you thought I did with this recreation today. Like I said, the house plan website, well, from houseplans.com, will be in the description if you want to see it in more detail. You can go ahead and let me know if there's any other builds that you want to see on the channel as well in the comment section down below. Leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!